Welcome to Geopolicy Hub, where we unravel the complexities of global economics and geopolitics. Join us as we navigate through the ever-changing landscape of international relations and financial dynamics. Get ready for insightful analysis and deep dives into the forces shaping our world. The U.S. dollar's dominance in the global market dates back to the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944, which established the dollar as the world's primary reserve currency linked to gold. Over the decades, this status has allowed the U.S. to wield considerable economic power. Critics argue that the U.S. has at times misused this power, imposing economic sanctions and influencing international economic policies in ways that serve its interests, often at the expense of other nations' economies and sovereignty. For example, through economic sanctions, the U.S. has influenced the policies of countries like Iran and Russia, impacting their economies significantly. The dollar's role in global trade and finance has given the U.S. an unparalleled advantage in international affairs, but it has also led to criticisms of unilateralism and the exertion of economic pressure that bypasses traditional diplomatic channels. In recent years, there has been a noticeable shift as countries increasingly seek alternatives to the U.S. dollar's hegemony in the global financial system. This movement, often referred to as dollarization, is driven by a desire to reduce dependence on the U.S. financial system and is spearheaded by China and the brics bloc, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. New members like Iran, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and Egypt have joined the fold. Before we proceed, we encourage you to consider liking the video to show your support for our channel. Additionally, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your feedback is invaluable and will help us reach a wider audience. In this video, we explore the history of the U.S. dollar's dominance in the global market and examine the efforts by China and the Global South, particularly the brics countries, to challenge the U.S. dollar supremacy. The dominance of the U.S. dollar dates back to the aftermath of World War I, escalating with the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944. This agreement pegged global currencies to the U.S. dollar, which was itself linked to gold. Over the years, the U.S. has utilized its currency's dominance to exert economic influence globally, often using sanctions as a tool to influence international policies. However, the unilateral nature of these actions has spurred the search for alternatives. Russia and China have been at the forefront of dollarization efforts, particularly in the wake of economic sanctions imposed on Russia. The ruble-yuan trade has seen a significant increase, and both countries are exploring the creation of a cryptocurrency backed by gold. Moreover, there's a growing trend among central banks, especially in Russia and China, to diversify their reserves away from the dollar and towards gold and other currencies. The brics bloc is also exploring the use of national currencies in bilateral trade to lessen reliance on the dollar. The move towards dollarization within the brics bloc notably advanced in 2014 when Russia began developing its own financial messaging system, SPFS, in response to U.S. sanctions. This system aimed to offer an alternative to SWIFT, lessening Russia's vulnerability to U.S. financial actions. Concurrently, China has been promoting its cross-border interbank payment system, CIPS, to facilitate international transactions in the renminbi, RMB, aiming to bypass SWIFT and reduce reliance on the U.S. dollar in global trade and finance. The new development bank, NDB, established by brics, is increasingly focusing on funding projects in member countries' national currencies. Additionally, discussions about creating a common currency for the bloc have surfaced, although this idea faces challenges due to the economic and political diversity among the member countries. China's strategy to dollarization and the internationalization of the Chinese Yuan has seen considerable progress. Underpinning this initiative is China's robust economic influence and strategic programs like the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. The BRI, with its focus on global infrastructure and energy networks, has become a crucial platform for promoting the yuan worldwide. China has made strides by signing yuan-denominated loan contracts with several countries, hence elevating the currency's role in international trade and finance. Notably, as of September, the yuan accounted for a record 3.71% of global payments by value, which, although still dwarfed by the dollar's 46.6%, marks a significant milestone. Chinese banks are also reporting an uptick in cross-border yuan business, primarily driven by trade with Russia and investments in oil trade. The People's Bank of China, PBOC, has championed the use of the yuan in cross-border trade and investment, contributing to its growing visibility in the global financial market. As a result, nearly half of all cross-border transactions conducted by Chinese entities are now settled in yuan. In March, the yuan even surpassed the US dollar to become the most utilized currency for cross-border transactions in China for the first time. However, it is worth noting that the journey to surpass the US dollar as the world's reserve currency is filled with challenges, and the yuan's current global trade finance usage of 4.5% is still far from the dollar's commanding 83.71%. To truly outpace the dollar, significant reforms would need to be undertaken, such as relaxing capital controls, opening markets, and promoting market liquidity. This situation underscores the complex dynamics of national currencies in global finance and the strategic economic maneuvers by leading powers to assert dominance. The yuan's increased use in cross-border transactions within China is an important milestone on the journey to dollarization. As we shift our attention to the brics bloc, we see an intensified effort towards dollarization, particularly with the inclusion of new members such as Iran, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and Egypt. One of the key strategies has been the New Development Bank's initiative to increase local currency usage in lending and fundraising operations. The aim here is to mitigate the risks associated with foreign exchange fluctuations and reduce dependence on the US dollar. Discussions around a common brics currency further underscore the group's desire to move away from the dollar. The idea is to strengthen economic ties within the bloc and promote financial stability. However, the path towards a common currency and significant dollarization is fraught with complexities due to economic, political, and geographic disparities among member countries. The NDB has laid out plans to increase local currency funding to 30% from under 20%, targeting bond issuances in the local currencies of its member countries. There is also a concerted effort to increase trade in national currencies among brics nations. As of now, about 30 to 35% of intra-brics transactions are conducted using local currencies. This shift, although gradual, is significant. The journey towards dollarization is a challenging one, but the steps taken by the brics bloc signal a shift in the global financial landscape. As we gaze into the crystal ball of global finance, the shift away from the US dollar as the world's primary reserve currency seems inevitable. The brics bloc, with China at the helm, has made significant strides in promoting alternatives to the dollar. Their efforts are gradually bearing fruit, as seen in the increased use of local currencies in intra-brics transactions and the New Development Bank's initiatives. The potential impact of dollarization on the global financial landscape is profound. It could reshape the dynamics of international trade, lending, and investment, bringing about a more balanced and diversified global economy. The US, for one, may lose some of its economic leverage, and the dollar's value could face downward pressure. However, the journey towards dollarization is a challenging one. It requires continued efforts and cooperation among nations to reduce reliance on the US dollar. It also requires the establishment of robust and reliable financial systems capable of supporting a world less dependent on the dollar. That's all for this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more enlightening discussions on global affairs. Stay informed and stay tuned to Geopolicy Hub for your regular dose of geopolitical insights.